humanity of the structures revealed in the archaeological excavations carried out in Şanlıurfa. No one predicted that he would change his history 12,000 from today. These large and complex structures, which belonged to a year ago, are becoming more and more every day. It's becoming a mystery that people who have yet to live as hunter-gatherers have found this place. While even how he does it surprises us, with new findings, the structures on. It turned out that they had covered it up and buried it in the ground. Why? They did it. And why did they bury it in the ground so that it could not be found for 10,000 years? Göbeklitepe is the road to the unknown. In the year 1995, German archaeologist Klaus Diemet revealed after starting excavations in the area, it took a long time to make sense of the resulting structures, because 12,000 years. At first, human beings were still living as hunter-gatherers, the tools we used. They were simple materials that we obtained by shaping stones and boards. First, even the wheel has been thousands of years in the making. A great deal with nature. We are in a struggle. We consider ourselves superior or different from animals yet. We hadn't started seeing it because they were also hunting as a community. Even our living quarters were the same. And certainly large organizations. And we had no way to do it. But we were able to unearth the apartment. The structures have the shape of hands and arms on them, which symbolize a person inside. Different stones made of T-shaped rocks and various animal depictions. It consisted of columns. These columns were transported in one piece and 16. There were even those that weighed tons. So why did Stone Age people make such a mysterious place? First of all, let's note that several circuits, although none of them has gained certainty. The first theory is as follows. Urfa. The area around it is called the Fertile Crescent and is one of the most fertile lands in the world. These lands, which remain within the area with its section, have the first settled life, and it is also the center of the transition to an agricultural society. One of the first villages of humanity in this vicinity. Some had been set up, hunter-gatherer, although agriculture has not yet begun. People had already established several villages where they would live together for decency. The oldest known of these is the same as Göbeklitepe, known in northern Syria. He reaches the dates. Hunter-gatherer peoples exchanged between these villages on deck. I wonder if the board was also conducting trade in Göbeklitepe, period by period. Could it have been a commercial center that gathered? Maybe the apartment buildings here. In order to serve this purpose with the joint work of various village peoples. It was built. Göbeklitepe will be visible from a land of 200 square kilometers. Since it was built in the location, a passenger would not have a directional problem either. Maybe. The animal symbols on the columns are also the symbols of each village or tribe. The second theory is that it was its own symbol, built as a temple of Göbeklitepe, upon which it was made. If this theory is true, Göbeklitepe is so far. It has received the feature of the oldest preserved great temple. There are also old ones. But none of them are as big as him. There is no city in the world Şanlıurfa. It does not have such a mystical past. You ask why? That's the one that gives people goosebumps. That divided Göbeklitepe will be under the ground for about 10,000 years, but according to the narrative of the landowner and historians, the land where Göbeklitepe is located, people who have been considered sacred by the people of Urfa since time immemorial spring. He comes here in the month, makes sacrifices. Those who have various ailments spend their nights. He spends it here, and so did those who have an island. He fulfilled his vows here. Interestingly, a region that has shown holiness unchanged for 12,000 years. This is the sacred sites in Urfa, dating back to prehistoric times. For example, while Göbeklitepe is considered sacred for today's people, thousands of years, it was also seen with the same value by the previous public archaeologists Göbekli, the oldest human-sized statue in the world next to the lake. They took it out. This statue, known as the Urfa Man, is about 80 years old, and smaller analogues were also removed from Göbeklitepe today in Şanlıurfa. It is on display at the Archaeological Museum. According to the views that support the theory, ancient people who have just started making new pottery in the years. One of the important elements that can combine with such an organization is the issue of faith. Is the opinion of most experts agree. Because here, there is an important point that we need to know. The village from the nomadic life yet. Leadership or military service of hunter-gatherer peoples who began to move into their lives. They have no concepts such as labor, slavery, there is no employer, so they order themselves. Having an authority builder who can guide them to this construction by giving. They're not joint life, joint project, equal distribution of goods, equal food. In short, they literally have a commune life, even pot-bellied. In the villages that coincide with the same dates as the hill, the whole village uses. Even the kitchen is shared. If Göbeklitepe is a temple, it is probably here. At certain times of the year, various tribes gather and perform their rituals. He was performing, according to the first discoveries, the alcoves on the columns of the altar. It was thought as such, but now this possibility has disappeared, and it was understood that the structures were carved for the wood placed on top. Now it's amazing. I want to give one more piece of information. According to the latest discoveries, Göbeklitepe. It is not the only one. That there are 12 more Göbeklitepe-like building lines around Urfa, Bahat and Selik from Ardahan University. It was revealed by his work. However, at the moment, only Göbeklitepe excavation. He has studies. After this area is completed, it will be transferred to other places. Perhaps some of the other 12 structures are too, but much earlier. He might be able to stand it. Thanks to radar technology, other structures are also similar to Göbeklitepe. It consists of various circles and columns. We do know that. We will see in time what they are hiding. Now to our topic.
Back. If Göbeklitepe is really a temple, we will see. Now let's get back to our topic. If Göbeklitepe is really
and the temple, what did these people believe in and what rituals did they perform? This.
The only comment that experts can say on the subject is, so it's a definite information.
No, because there are still 8,000 years to be found. But the general opinion is that there are pagan beliefs integrated with nature similar to shamanism. Almost all of the ancient people on Earth have similar religions.
Had it. Nature is nature, animals, sacrifices and blood. The animal in the columns.
His figures also support these views. Also see how the rituals are.
There is no idea. Rumors are just rumors. Let's come now
to the meanings of symbols and other signs. The Son of Man is a hunter-gatherer. He lived as, at that time, he had a fascination with nature, of animals. Respects their strength and takes care to take their hunting tactics as an example. That's why he showed religion. Maybe it's just out of admiration, but leopard, wild boar, lion, various extinct animal species, birds, spiders, carved on columns, these are a great masterpiece and from the past. Jobs that require incoming knowledge accumulation. In the middle of some apartments, their height is 5. There are T-shaped silhouettes of people over a meter long. Their faces are not drawn. However, their hands are processed in such a way that they hold their bellies, according to some experts. This is the reason why you don't draw faces, the divine meaning of the big stones in the middle. It's because of their uploads. After all, drawing the faces of the gods is great. Could it have been disrespectful? How was Göbeklitepe done? There are no wheels or a wide variety of tools in those years. Stones and boards used for shaping. There is. When we examined the surroundings of the hill, the rocks in the whole state were carved.
Formed on the spot, then in groups of 50 to 60 people.
That it was placed on the boards and transported by human power like a kayak. We know that since some columns have a weight of 16 tons, such engineering also comes much earlier without having a background. It obviously can't be done. So if Göbeklitepe is 12,000 years old, we are the most. Talk about a self-developed community of less than 13 to 14,000 years. It means we are. Unfortunately, who these people are, maybe there is no. We won't know time. Well, for sure about Göbeklitepe. What we know and what is its accepted significance is primarily hunter-gatherer. It is the historical ruins that best tell us about the symbolic world of people. This is the most important point in the world right now. To the Göbeklitepe period. According to it, it is not the oldest building or the oldest temple. There are also older ones, but what makes this place important is that its ruins are very well preserved. Almost the first. As good as today. There is no such thing here in the past few years.
It is not just a temple. It serves different purposes. It is a public space. We understood that it was. Perhaps even that it has never been used as a temple.
Research is also being conducted in its direction. This is the man himself on Earth. That transition in which he began to separate himself from animals, in which he considered himself more special. The most prominent and most important point belonging to his time. Göbeklitepe first appeared. When it came out, it was thought that its positioning was made according to the stars. But this theory is no longer accepted. Even during the period in Urfa, other historical No symbols of the sky have been found in the works either, therefore. Yet the first astronomical drawings in the history of mankind show us that mankind cares more about the Earth than the sky for 3,000 or 4,000 years. It will start later. The Fertile Crescent region from other parts of the world. It proves to us that he switched to sedentary life much longer ago. Şanlıurfa is the most important city in the world in terms of that dark past of humanity. And again that it is one of the oldest cities, and even that it is the oldest. He showed it again, Göbeklitepe, that ancient one who shaped our day. The peoples came out of this warm and old land and much more. Thanks to Göbeklitepe, we have understood again that more of it is here. But there are some that cannot be answered, and perhaps will not be answered at all. There are questions. Why are the people who built this place, after using it for 1,500 years, then they covered it with earth? They've completely shut down. This is the minimum rate of a job as difficult as its construction. What happened to those people over the next 4,000 or 5,000 years? Throughout, what was there in that space until the Sumerian civilization appeared? This. What did people see and what did they witness? 12 like Göbeklitepe. They felt the need to build more. They import him to that thing. What was it mainly? At present, the symbols on Göbeklitepe are the symbols of humanity. It is considered to be the oldest form of expression. To give a brief example.
Because these depictions are seen as the first of humanity, the animal inside the cave. It tells us very different things from its shapes. Yes, here is a story. There is. A story is being told here, and a new story is based on symbolic writing. We hope science has started research to get us this story. That the next 10 years are more years when the secrets of Göbeklitepe are revealed. You can subscribe to my channel to reach more content. Enjoy watching.